90-Day Fiancé exposes disturbing Shekinah Garner behavior amid huge Sarper-given relationship update. Shekinah Garner from 90-Day Fiancé has been indulging in some toxic behavior in her on-and-off relationship with Sarper-given ahead of their wedding. Shekinah and Sarper are currently appearing in 90-Day Fiancé Season 11. He had a terrible reputation following his The Other Way debut because of his past involving 2,500 women. Sarper was also controlling and did things like tracking Shekinah's weight and diet. Sarper changed his ways for Shekinah ahead of his US move, but the tables turned, and Shekinah revealed that she's just as controlling when the ball is in her court. ET shared a preview of the next 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 episode, which shows Shekinah telling the producers about their latest argument. Shekinah and Sarper were supposed to get married, and a day before their wedding, he left the house without telling her. While thinking about where he could have possibly gone, Shekinah recalls that she put an AirTag on his keychain. "I put an AirTag on Sarper's keychain because if he loses his keys we need to be able to find them," Shekinah tells the producers with a sneaky smile. However, when the producers prod her to tell them the real reason she put an AirTag on his keychain, she reveals that it's because he doesn't share his location with her on maps. Shekinah believes that it is suspicious and shady if a person is against sharing their location in a relationship. What Shekinah's toxic behavior says about relationship with Sarper. Shekinah knew Sarper had never been in a serious relationship before her. Even in his 40s, he seemed unsure how to act around women. He claimed to have slept with thousands of partners, keeping a tally of them in a notebook. Most, he said, were women he met while working as an exotic dancer. Sarper even collected empty alcohol bottles in his apartment as trophies to remember his dates. Concerned about his past, Shekinah banned him from training female clients at work. Though hesitant, Sarper eventually gave in when Shekinah pushed him to make their relationship Instagram official. Shekinah is about to marry Sarper, but with just one day left, she still doesn't trust him. She may have made a mistake agreeing to the wedding, especially since it meant uprooting Sarper from his home. By tracking Sarper's location, Shekinah is violating his privacy and coming across as controlling or manipulative. If Sarper finds out, he may never trust her again. This breach of trust could push him to call off the wedding altogether. He already seems to have cold feet, which might explain why he left the house without telling her. Our take on Shekinah tracking Sarper through GPS. Shekinah didn't appear to ask for Sarper's permission before secretly placing an AirTag in his keychain. He was already unhappy in America, especially since he couldn't work, and admitted to feeling depressed. Shekinah's actions reflect her deep insecurity and a lack of open communication in the relationship. Her need to track him without his knowledge raises red flags. Even if they go through with the wedding on 90-Day Fiancé, the trust issues between them suggest the marriage won't last and could likely end in divorce. The foundation of their relationship already seems shaky. 90-Day Fiancé, Shekinah Garner and Ammani Jalassi are enemies now, the drama explained. Members feuding in the franchise, but what really happened between them? Ammani is part of the franchise's first ever throuple in 90-Day Fiancé Season 11, living in San Diego with her husband, Matt, and their girlfriend Annie from Mexico. Originally from Tunisia, she moved to the US at 18, speaks 4 languages, and built a career in tech by working for companies like Google, while also founding her own real estate LLC. Ammani identifies as bisexual and has been navigating the challenges of polyamory with Matt. Immigration logistics, trust issues, and jealousy became part of Ammani and Matt's relationship as they attempted to bring Annie to the US. Meanwhile, Shekinah is an esthetician who appeared on The Other Way and later on Season 11. She has over 20 years of experience in skincare and runs her own beauty studio. Raised in a conservative environment, Shekinah later embraced a more modern lifestyle. She met Sarper while on vacation in Turkey, and their intense relationship quickly became a central storyline. Their journey features challenges around control, trust, and appearance as they try to build a life together. When Ammani walked in on set, feeling cold thanks to the New York weather, the producer asked her if she had a bit of work done. They wanted to know if she was comfortable sharing the details. Ammani revealed that she had done a couple of surgeries. She had gotten a BBL done along with a nose job. Ammani admitted that she had felt the pressure to go do all the surgeries so she could fit into the box that society created. However, Ammani also added that in the process of doing so, she lost pieces of herself. Ammani accused Shekinah of being thirsty for screen time. It made Sarper jump in, and he also called Ammani calculated. The two women then used the F word for each other as it looked like theirs was a relationship that could never develop into a friendship. It looks like things haven't changed between Ammani and Shekinah since they filmed the 90-Day Fiancé tell-all. Shekinah is not following Ammani from her official Instagram page. However, Ammani is still following a Hollywood makeup account by Shekinah, which suggests that she still respects Shekinah's art despite the words exchanged between them. 90-Day Fiancé airs Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Can Sarper survive Shekinah's strict house rules on 90-Day Fiancé? I'm not so sure. Shekinah Garner and Sarper Guven have been in the 90-Day Fiancé franchise for a few years now, but I feel like I'm seeing a different side to the American reality star. Garner and Guven first appeared on 90-Day Fiancé, the other way. Their original plan was for Garner to move to Turkey to be with him. For 2 seasons, they showcased their journey on the popular spin-off as Garner adapted herself to live abroad. Plans changed though. Instead, they decided that Guven would move to America. Their plans were successful and now Guven is in America on a K-1 visa and living on Garner's terms. However, I can't help but notice how the relationship has done a 180, and I'm not sure if it's much better than it was before. The irony of the situation is astounding, and I don't understand how the couple doesn't recognize their role reversal. When Garner went to Turkey, she had a few simple requests to feel more comfortable and at home. She wanted a vanity and, more importantly, a new bed that didn't have the imprints of Guven's escapades. Garner wasn't happy when she first saw Guven's apartment and his disinterest in making accommodations for her. She often had an issue with everything, from his apartment to his career to his clientele. Yet, now that they are in America, they seem to be facing the same problems, as Guven is restricted to a tiny apartment with no space to themselves. Shekinah Garner didn't make real accommodations for Sarper Guven. Garner's home is also where she works, so rules had to be laid out to Guven. So this is the kitchen, but we can't really cook, like, food here because I'm seeing clients and I don't want the place smelling like food, she explained. Stunned, Guven responded, "Not cooking in a house? What the fuck? I mean, are we living in a hotel room?" he would later add. Everywhere is full of her equipment. Where will we live? However, Garner also felt like her priorities were put to the side for Guven's comfort. Now their dynamic has shifted, and I can't help but notice the irony in their relationship. With Guven being in America, now it's his turn to live in Garner's turf and follow her rules. Currently, he seems open-minded and willing to be flexible, but after seeing Garner's cute home, I can understand his concerns. She hasn't made any accommodations for him. Her living space is also her workspace, and she's made it clear that Guven needs to be gone while she works. Overall, I think Garner missed the mark and failed to plan for the transition appropriately. 90-Day Fiancé's Shekinah may not be serious about Sarper. On top of the double standards, Garner has some major concerns about getting married in 90 days. Garner seems to flip back and forth about her feelings and connections with Guven often. Earlier in the relationship, she discovered he had slept with over 200 women, kept some of their knickknacks and recorded his conquests in a black book. His potential to cheat was not the only concern. Garner was also worried about their lack of trust and other issues that seemed to be giving her cold feet. While I understand her concerns and getting cold feet is common, I also can't help but wonder what she's been thinking all along. They have worked so hard to get to where they are today, and if they postpone the wedding, they might lose everything they've worked for. In the last few episodes, she's revealed in her confessional that she doesn't think 90 days is enough time for them to re-establish trust, which makes me wonder, then, what was the point in bringing Guven to America and pushing for the K-1 visa like she did? In the end, I'm really shocked by the turn of events. Sarper and Shekinah have swapped places, and while their role reversal is certainly interesting to absorb, I'm confused by their dynamic. Guven has a lot of restrictions. In my opinion, he has more restrictions than Garner had in his home. Additionally, the couple have been in the franchise for years. They're well aware of how the K-1 visa works, so for Garner to have doubts this close to their wedding day is raising more red flags. Overall, though, I'm interested to see how their dynamic plays out in America.